morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are watching. My name is Delvin Wenani, biology maths teacher, and today I want us to proceed with our revision. And today I want us to go to KCSE paper 1 of the year 2000. Now remember to subscribe, remember to follow, remember to comment, share, so that we can reach as many people as possible. Otherwise, without wasting much time, let us meet in the classroom. Now, KCSE paper 1 2000 was as follows, and I will be able to take you through each question, and we shall be discussing the responses and how you can effectively answer those questions. Question number 1, name the taxonomic grouping that contain individuals with most similarities. So we're talking about all the taxonomic units from kingdom, phylum, that is stroke division, until to species. But we are looking at which taxonomic units amongst them has individuals who has or possess characteristics which are very close. Those are most similar characteristics, and these ones are species. So species contain individuals with very similar characteristics. Number 2, name the characteristics of living organism shown by each of the following activities. Number 1, budding in yeast. Budding in yeast. And this one we know is actually associated with asexual reproduction. Under characteristics, it's under reproduction, but it's a sexual reproduction. It's not sexual reproduction. Then enlargement of the eye pupil in dim light. Remember, the eye pupil always enlarges and dims depending on, it always enlarges and narrows, if that is the word, whether depending on the amount of light. This is a response, it's a kind of a response, and therefore we call it a readability, a response, or sensitivity. Explain why there is no grass in most dense forests. We're talking about when you go to the most dense forest, whereby the forest have formed canopies above, preventing the entry of light. You discover that at the ground where those trees are forming canopies, there is little or no grass. Why? And this is the reason why. It's because the trees in the dense forest form canopies, and this creates a shade which prevent light from reaching the grass. You can also say the grass dies or otherwise fails to flourish due to its ability to photosynthesize. Remember, for those grass to photosynthesize, they require light, and those canopies, they prevent entry of light. Then state one structural difference between a cell wall and a cell membrane. Now, a cell wall is fully permeable. We can say it's permeable, while a cell membrane is semi-permeable. Now, we can also talk about the pores. You can say the cell wall has larger pores, while cell membrane has smaller pores. Now, cell wall is mainly made up of cellulose or the fibers, while cell membrane has double protein layer, sandwiching a lipid layer. We can also accept a lipoprotein cell wall is rigid and it's tougher, and that's why it cannot burst, while cell membrane is weaker and therefore it can burst. Now, the diagram below shows an organism in a certain kingdom, and that is the organism. There's a part labeled E, and then there's the other part up there. So let us go to the question. Question number 1, name the kingdom to which the organism belongs. So this one definitely belongs to kingdom fungi. They're also accepting that here they were accepting fungi with small f, but we always advocate for fungi with capital F. All names above species, we always give them with a capital letter. Now, state the mode of nutrition for the organism. This one is a saprophyte, so saprophytism, saprophytic. You can say it feed on dead, decaying organic matter, but there's a reject on saprophyte because they're talking about mode of nutrition. So that's saprophytism. Name the part label E. Remember the part label E. That is a hypha, a hyphae. We can also accept mycelium. We can also accept mycelium rhizoids. Now, state two function of the part label E. What is the function of part label E? Secretes digestive enzyme for external digestion. It also anchors the organism, that is the mushroom family, onto the substrate, that is substratum or substrate. You can also accept anchorage. Absorbs digested food materials and also absorbs water and mineral salts. State the importance of a well-developed blood capillary network in the alveoli. State the importance of a well-developed blood capillary network in the alveoli. We talk about an alveoli as a what? As a respiratory surface. And therefore, having a well-developed blood capillary is a characteristic of a respiratory surface. So it increases the surface area for efficient exchange or transport of respiratory gases. Name the genetic disorder in human that is characterized by inability of blood to clot. There's those individuals who have a problem with blood clotting. That is, the blood once their skin is injured, the blood takes an abnormal time to clot, and this is a condition known as hemophilia. Now, we can accept hemophilia or hemophilia, just like we accept hemoglobin or hemoglobin. Sketch a graph on the axis below showing how temperature affects the rate of diffusion. And this is where you're supposed to sketch your graph, and here is the sketch. So this is how the sketch should look like. Now, let us continue. Account for the shape of the sketch made in A above. The rate of diffusion increases. You can see from the sketch that the rate of diffusion increases with the increase in temperature. Increases in temperature increases the kinetic energy of the molecules and therefore increasing the rate of diffusion. So that is what you can see from that. Explain why plants have lower respiratory rates compared to animals. Remember, plants also they respire, but why do plants have lower respiratory rates compared to animals? Now, plants are less active than animals. We know that. And therefore, if you are very less active, then hence you require low amount of energy than animals. Number two, state two situations in plants when the rate of respiration rises more than normal. State two situation in plants when the rate of respiration rises more than normal. During germination, to generate energy required for the process of germination. During germination. During a rapid growth or cell division, that is at the tips of the roots and shoots. During active intake and transport of substances through the roots. Now, question number 10. Explain why most plants growing in waterlogged areas die before attaining maturity. Explain why most plants growing in waterlogged areas die before attaining maturity. Now, waterlogging submerges the plant root system. Now, this one cuts off the supply of oxygen to the roots or the soil surrounding the roots. And therefore, aerobic respiration in the roots is hampered, it's hampered. And therefore, transportation of materials is also affected. Now, this one will lead to death of the affected plants. The diagram below shows the plan of a pentadactyl limb. That is it. We have the first part here known as the humerus. We have the humerus here. This is the humerus. Then we have this part, K and L. Then we have the thumb on this side. So they're saying name the bones labeled K and L. Name the bones labeled K and L. K is actually the ulna and L is the radius. Now, with this one, we have been given a guided. This one, the humerus here is supposed to guide us to show that these are actually two bones immediately after the humerus. Then, down here, we are guided by the thumb. And we all know that the bone that is on the side of the thumb is actually the radius. So that's why this one becomes the radius and this one becomes the ulna. With reference to germination, explain the meaning of the term imbibition. That is the rapid absorption of water by germinating seed through the micropyle, or what we call the seed coat. The rapid, or you can say the absorption of water by seed or the germinating seed through the micropyle or seed coat. Why the dry mass of the endosperm decreases while that of the embryo increases. Now, during germination, the stored food in the endosperm is broken down. You can say it's broken down or hydrolyzed. You can say broken down or hydrolyzed or oxidized to provide nutrients for the growing embryo. Now, state 2 characteristics features used to classify members of class Coniferous. State 2 characteristic features used to classify members of class Coniferous. Presence of cones, naked seeds, seeds not enclosed in fruits. Xerophytic characteristics, that is things to do with needle-like leaves, thick, waxy cuticle, sunken stomata, and etc. The graph below represents a growth curvature or a growth curve in a certain phylum. That is it. We are talking about a growth. This is a growth curvature. You can be able to see it. Now the question, name the type of growth curvature shown. Now, this one definitely it is an intermittent or staircase growth curve. Name the phylum where members show the type of growth curve illustrated. Phylum Arthropoda. Now, remember the spellings must be correctly spelled. Arthropoda, arthropoda, arthropoda. But we reject andropoda and arthropoda, whether with capital or small. Number 15. State 2 limitation of using fossil records in retracting evolutionary history of living organism. We're talking about limitation of using fossil records. Number 1. missing links due to complete decomposition of some organism. Can also accept some parts decomposing, distortion of parts during sedimentation, destruction of fossils by geological activities. Remember, it is geological, not geographical. It is geological activities. Geological activities include earthquakes, faulting, mass movement of earth surfaces, and volcanicity. Describe cell biology as an evidence of organic evolution. Describe cell biology as an evidence of organic evolution. Presence of similar cell organelles like the mitochondria, ribosomes, lysosomes, name them. Similar biological chemicals like presence of ATP, DNA. Similar blood pigmentation in tissues of some group of animals, like now the hemoglobin in some group of animals, they show that they have a common phylogenetic origin. They show that they have a similar phylogenetic origin. The illustration below shows a summary of the main phases of the human menstrual cycle. I have the 14th day, 21st day, that is the luteal phase, 28th day, then menstruation, then follicular phase, that is on the 7th day. Name the process that takes place around the 14th day. That's around the 14th day. What happens the 14th day? Immediately after the 7th day, those follicular phases have formed. Then what happens? That is, ovulation takes place on the 14th day. Name two hormones produced at the follicular phase. Name two hormones produced at follicular phase. These are follicle stimulating hormone, but remember we reject the abbreviation FSH, and then oestrogen, and we also accept estrogen. Estrogen and oestrogen, they are accepted. And also we have the luteinizing hormone, but we reject LH. So make sure that when you're writing these hormones, you write them in full. Under which two conditions will the cycle be interrupted? When? Sickness, changes in weather, environment, and remember those are drastic: pregnancy, implantation, conception, but reject fertilization. There can be fertilization without pregnancy. There can be fertilization without implantation. So fertilization only does not cause any interruption. Emotional instability, that is anger, stress, anxiety. So state two reasons why blood reaching the glomerulus is always under high pressure. State two reasons why blood reaching the glomerulus is always under high pressure. The renal artery branches directly from the dorsal, that is the aorta, whose blood is under pressure. And therefore, the afferent arteriole supplying blood is broader than the efferent taking out blood. During a clinical laboratory test, some sugar was detected in an individual's sample of urine. Question: name the hormone that was deficient in the patient. Why was the urine passing? Why was the sugar passing to urine? Which hormone was insufficient? Insulin. Because hormone insulin is supposed to convert excess sugar to glycogen for storage. Now, the gland that produces the hormone named in above, and this is pancreas. Pancreas produces insulin. The disease the individual was likely to be suffering from, that is diabetes mellitus, but we reject diabetes alone. The graph below illustrates the effect of pH on a certain protein digesting enzyme, that S and T. You can see the graph. We got the question, and the question is, name the enzymes S and T. Now you can see S works best under acidic, and therefore then T best under alkaline. So S is a pepsin, can be chymosin, renin, but we reject renin with single N. Then T is trypsin. Name the part of the alimentary canal where the enzyme T is likely to be found. That is in the duodenum. In the duodenum. Explain your answer. The answer, in the duodenum, the medium is alkaline, and that's basic, favoring the option of optimal working of the enzyme T as illustrated above. Question number 20, explain the biological significance of completing a dose of antibiotics. The biological significance. Now, when you complete a dose, you completely kill, that will contain the targeted pathogens, since failure to take full dose accords the pathogen an opportunity to develop resistance to the drug. So the pathogen will mutate over time, giving rise to a new strain, which will finally make the drug to be ineffective. Now, state 2 reasons why females with Turner syndrome are infertile. State 2 reasons why female with Turner syndrome are infertile. Reason number 1 is they lack ovaries. They have very small uterus, and they have less number of chromosomes. Now, define the term field of view as used in microscopy. The term field of view. Now, it is a circular area seen on the stage when focusing, viewing through the eyepiece of a microscope. That's a small circular area when focusing or viewing through the eyepiece of a microscope. State 2 functions of the body tube of a light microscope. Body tube. It holds the revolving nose piece. It also holds the objective lenses in place and holds the ocular or the eyepiece lens in place. Give a reason why it is not advisable to use water in cleaning a microscope. Now, the problem of water is water causes rusting, and therefore to avoid rusting, to avoid interfering with visibility of the lenses. Explain the role of blood capillaries in thermoregulation. 1. Constrict during cold or low temperatures to conserve heat, and also dilate during hot or high temperatures to facilitate heat loss. The illustration below shows the effect of hormones on insect growth and development. We have the brain, the corpus allatum, the neurosecretory cells. We have the hormone K, larval cuticle, G and L, ecdysone hormone, process M, egg, larva, pupa, and adult. Go to the question. Name the hormone K. Hormone K from the corpus to the larval cuticle. That is juvenile hormone. Juvenile hormone. Gland L that produces ecdysone hormone. That is prothoracic gland. Prothoracic gland. State the role of ecdysone hormone in the growth and development of insect. Ecdysone hormone causes metamorphosis or causes the larval stage of an insect to change. So that is metamorphosize into pupa and pupa into adult. Name process M, that is from ecdysone to egg, larva, pupa, and adult. That is complete metamorphosis. Account for the rapid increase in size of organism immediately after molting. This is because during molting, the tougher or the hard impermeable exoskeleton is shed, allowing the soft permeable larva to take in air, water, leading to rapid growth, which in turn results to increase in size of the organism. Question number 25. Complete the table below on the adaptation and function of some structures in a dicotyledonous stem. So the first part is cambium, then the adaptation, parenchyma, then the adaptation. So cambium, it has small cells with dense cytoplasm to enable rapid mitotic division, giving rise to secondary growth. Parenchyma, they have thin walls for faster passage of materials, and they have large vacuole, irregular shape for storage, and also to provide space for packaging or packing. Next, explain why the leaf of a sisal plant has a thick and shiny cuticle. Sisal is a xerophyte, and therefore the thick cuticle enables it to conserve water, reduce water loss. It is shiny to reflect light and also minimize evaporation by radiation. Explain why an individual with blood group AB can only donate blood to an individual with the same blood group. And this is because the individuals with blood group AB has both antigens A and B, which will coagulate or agglutinate with antibodies A and B found in individuals with blood groups A, B, and O. We accept any other words to that effect. The diagram below illustrates a set of biological processes in a green plant. Green plant, process N, then we get polysaccharides. Then we hydrolyze. After hydrolysis, it goes to glucose, and then anaerobic respiration to compound Q. So question is, name process N from green plants to polysaccharides. That is photosynthesis. Number 2, polysaccharide P. Which polysaccharide is that? Definitely it is what? Starch. State 2 condition necessary for the formation of compound Q. That is after anaerobic respiration. 1 is respiratory enzymes. 2 is absence or little oxygen. And then state 2 environmental condition necessary for process N to take place. That is photosynthesis. Number 1, optimum temperature, light, water, and moisture. And also we need to have carbon 4 oxide. Ladies and gentlemen, that one brings us to the end of our revision. And I hope we have been together, we have revised together. And it's my hope that through this online venture, we are going to help each other and all shall be fine. Otherwise, thank you very much. Remember to subscribe, to follow our channel, and we shall be we shall be back with paper 2. We shall be back with paper 2 of the same year. Thank you very much, and God bless you.